What's up, gamers? This is NGG here with another video, and this is 10 JRPGs from like the 80s 90s period. I think most of these are 80s 90s. Hopefully I didn't get any that were in the 2000s, that are making their way onto the Switch, that if you weren't in that generation when they were coming out, I would highly suggest you pick these up. And we're gonna start off with the most recent ones, the most recent revivals, and that is the revival of the Lunar games. We're gonna start with Lunar 1 and we'll get into it, but it released as a collection, so Lunar 1 and Lunar 2 are on the Nintendo Switch. I'll explain why I don't have a Nintendo Switch copy in a second, but yes, these games are amazing, guys, amazing. If you've never played these classic JRPGs before, these were amazing. Obviously I have the box copies. This one was, I think, my ex's copy, and he gave it to me, so that's why the box is in not so great shape. But this is the collector's edition. I wish they would have done a collector's edition for the new one that's coming out. This one has the CD soundtrack, which, mwah, chef's kiss. If you ever heard me talk about gaming music, this CD soundtrack is amazing. Now, I can only hope that the brand new one on the Nintendo Switch released with the same amount of gusto in their soundtracks as they did in the 80s 90s. I think this was more 90s than 80s, but actually no, this came out on the Sega Saturn, so this was already a remake on that on the PlayStation. So this game has been remade at least twice that I know of. But yeah, this game is amazing. This one, you are Alex, who's the protagonist, and he wants to become a dragon warrior. It starts off as slice of life and quickly becomes more of an adventure. You seeking out an adventure, you having to rescue people. Super slice of life in the beginning, where he just wants to be like his idol, who has his gravestone in a cemetery plot near his hometown that he visits all the time. So there's that one. This one, Lunar 2, I believe takes place 200 years after, no, 100 years. I believe it's 100 years after Lunar 1. So the characters from the old game are not gonna be in this one. If I'm not mistaken, it's 100 years. It might be less than 100 years, but I don't believe any of the other characters are returning -1, and you'll find out why in the story. I'm not gonna spoil it, but definitely I would say you can play Lunar 2 if you want, but you'll be hella spoiled if you played Lunar 2 before playing Lunar 1. And in my opinion, in my humble opinion, Lunar 1 is a much better game. The music was much better. Actually, though, the opening song in this one I think was a really good one as well, but my favorite music from the Lunar series is definitely in the first one. I did hear that they changed the voice actors, so you're not gonna have the same voice acting as the other one, and I don't know if that's good or bad. I just don't know. So I'm looking forward to playing it, but the way it was released in the US, we didn't have a chance to pre-order it. I might give it a little bit, because obviously I've played and beat those games. I don't know if I need them. Like, here's the thing, right? Here's the kicker. I beat these games already. Both of those games are beat games from when I played them way back when. So I don't really need them, but do I want them? Hell yeah, I want them. I still want them. So we'll see. The next set of games I want to talk about is from the, now hopefully I don't butcher it, it's from the Suikoden series, and this one also came out in a collection. So you have the Suikoden 1 and you have the Suikoden 2 games. I'm gonna say both of these games are great. And now, I know back then you could use your memory card to kind of like have the save file transfer from one to the other, and you get a more complete story in 2 if you have the save file of 1 complete. So because there are 108 stars of destiny in each of these games, they use a folklore or a book or something as like the background of like the Stars of Destiny and some in a I don't know which culture. I don't want to butcher which culture it is. I don't know if it's Chinese or Japanese. So one of those cultures, one of these Asian cultures, have 21 Stars of Destiny, and that's like the background premise of you meeting all these Stars of Destiny, you having to collect each and every one of these characters. And I did collect each and every one of these characters. Now, when I played these back in the day when I beat these, there was no YouTube tutorials. There were forums at that point, but there were no YouTube tutorials. So finding the 108 Stars of Destiny in each of these games, and a lot of the some of the times you had to find them before like a pivotal scene came out, or else you would not be able to get them. So there's that. Like you had to know what you were doing back in the day, or you'd have to restart your save. I think I remember having a couple of save packs in case I had to go way back and find the characters that I didn't find, that if I had to get that character before something got done, then I had to go back into one of my previous save files. But let's move on. So those are the two most recent ones. There's another game that it's been out for a little bit, but it also recently came to the West, and that is Final Fantasy, but not just any Final Fantasy, the whole collection 1 through 6. Now, if you've been on this channel long enough, you've heard me yap on about this game, and I'm just gonna continue to yap on about this game. So as it stands right now, I beat every game in this collection. The ones I had never played before this collection came out were 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 I might have played, but 2, 3, and 4 definitely haven't played, and 5 I had never beaten. So I beat all of them on this collection. I do have, shameless plug, in my home. If you click on the home tab after this video, please. If you click on the home tab, you'll see that I have a playlist for all of these Final Fantasy games. So if you ever get lost, I was using a strategy guide. I am up to 6, which is my favorite, but I haven't finished. And it's been a while since I haven't finished it. The reason for that is just because I beat it like 4 or 5 times back in the day, and I'm like, oh yes, I love the game, but do I really need to replay the game? I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I have now that I have a bigger collection of games, going back and repeating games is a little harder for me when I know that I have a bunch of games looking at me like, itch, why haven't you played me? You've played that other game. Put that game down. So that's why, like, number 6, getting back to 6 is a little harder for me, just because I beat it like a couple of times back in the day. I beat it on the Super Nintendo. I beat it on the PlayStation. I think on the Super Nintendo I beat it twice, and on the PlayStation I might have beat it twice as well. So I beat this game enough times, and this would be like my 4th or 5th run. I don't know how many times, so I'm gonna say 4 or 5. It's the only reason why I haven't played it and beaten it. Otherwise, on this cart, it would have been complete. So I still have to stream that. If you are interested in watching me finish the Final Fantasy VI stream, let me know. I haven't gone back to it, and I am tempted to just shuffle on, because I want to rebeat 7, only because even though 7 is super popular, it wasn't my favorite. 6 is my favorite. And I want to play 7, and I'm like, Anyway, enough of that. This is not that kind of video. This is a list video. All right, so let's get into another set of games that are making their revival. Oh, hold on. Hold, please. Okay, the next game that's making that made its revival on the Switch is Pokemon Diamond, and Pokemon Diamond released in the new compilation as Pokemon Diamond, Brilliant Diamond, and Shining Pearl. These are their remakes. Now, I will say, I like this game in the day, right? If you own this one, no need to own this one. The art style didn't change very much. It's almost like a 1-to-1, to be fair. It's not. They chibi-fied these ones, but I feel like they didn't do enough in the art to justify like re-releasing these games. But if you don't have this one, then yeah, these are a great option. The story itself is good. I beat it, beat and reviewed on the channel, as well. So like, if you're interested in seeing what I thought about it now, you're gonna hear that the first opinion is that if you own this one, don't buy these because it's the same game. And that's why I wasn't very happy with it. But like, this game is a good game. Like, if you've never played it, you can get it on the Switch, and there'll be great copies to have. And I feel like these are the first Pokemon games I know in history to not retain their value. Most Pokemon games retain their like value and how much you can buy them back for, but I feel like those Pokemon games did not. And unfortunately, and I think it's for the same reason that I'm saying now, that it did not hold its value. The next game I want to talk about is Tales of Symphonia. It came out on the Switch as well. Now, I did play and beat that one as well. And the reason I have this one physically, even though I beat it back then, is because this came out with a second version that I was hoping was going to be released as well. And I was like, oh, I don't remember Tales of Symphonia as much. Even though I played and beat it, it's a beat game. I didn't remember the story, so I was like, oh, I probably should go back, play the story, and figure out what's going on in the game. So I gotta do that. I haven't yet done it, but I have to do that. So there's that. I do want to play and beat it. Again, that is one I do want to go back to, just because I don't remember the story. I beat it way back when, on the GameCube, as you can see. It's just one of those games that I never got back into to beat the second part. And I feel like the second part is necessary. I'm not sure that it is. I'll have to research it before playing Tales of Symphonia. If it's unnecessary, I will not be returning. If it's necessary, then unfortunately, then I bought this copy for no reason. All right. The next game is The Collection of Mana, and I never beat the first game in this collection. I beat Secret of Mana like twice when I was growing up. I was trying to do for a third run with my sister. Unfortunately, this doesn't have online. If it had online, that'd be great, but it does not, so I have to play by myself. This does have up to 3 player. I just haven't figured out how to do it yet, but the Secret of Mana game is amazing. It's an action RPG, like one of the first kinds of action RPGs, so you don't, you're in the open world, you see the enemies, and then you're fighting the enemies, and then, you don't go into a battle and then time loop out kind of thing. You're in the area that you're battling in. So, it also has Trials of Mana that was released to the West for the first time on this collection. They eventually did a remake and released it around the same time, which I beat on the channel already. So if you want to watch that review, that's also reviewed on my channel. But yeah, so I highly suggest the Secret of Mana game for sure. The Trials of Mana game, I definitely beat the remake. I do want to come back and play the original, because the remake you can't play with people, but this original one you can. So I kind of want to replay those games, and so I will probably try to replay the one on this cartridge with characters that I didn't play in the other playthrough, so I can see their endings. Now, the next few games are games I kind of have no right to talk about. It's my channel, so I'm gonna. But I never beat these games. I've never played these games. These are all games that were on my wish list of games to kind of play. Wish list at some point, because some of them I knew about, some of them I didn't. So we'll get into the ones I knew about, and then we'll get into the ones I didn't. Which is more than the ones I did know about. So the first game we're going to talk about is Super Mario RPG. I hear very good things about this one. I always wanted to play it. Cartridge was always super duper expensive, so never got a chance. But always wanted to play it. So there's that. But hopefully now that it's on the Switch, I really am not, if you guys know, I'm not a great at platforming, but I do want to be a Mario fan. So I figured like the RPG series, like all of the Mario RPGs, I got the the RPG, I got the paper ones, I got the Luigi and Mario games. So I got all the RPGs to try to become a Mario fan, because right now I don't really care about the plumber. All right, the next set of games are games that are still coming out. Actually, it's still coming out, and these ones I played number 7, but I'm hoping they remake all of them. So we'll give it a chance. For right now, they remade 1, 2, and 3 on this bundle pack. These are the mobile ports, but if you wait a little longer, you can get the HD remasters of 1 and 2, and this is also the HD remaster of 3. So if you give it a little while, these are your classic turn-based RPGs. Minimal story, because obviously these came out in the Nintendo era. I believe all 3 of them came out in the Nintendo era, but they're, like I said, they're doing the HD remasters for the 1 and 2, and I already have 3, so I wanted to like just have them all. I was gonna play this one, and then I'm just trying to finish my Final Fantasy one series at a time, my guy, one series at a time. And the Final Fantasy series is the one I'm beating, but I'm still picking up this one for right now. So those are the series that I'm picking up. The next game is a recent hear about game, but it looked amazing. And that is the Star Ocean games. This is the second game. I was hoping that the first game would be released on the Nintendo Switch. They did it digitally, and then never did it physically, or even put it in this cartridge. Why? You could have made it a collection, put 2 games in one. Why they didn't do that, I have no idea, but that's not fun for people like me who would have liked to have the physical of both. But if you're patient enough, you might. Your patience sometimes can pay off. If not, digital copies aren't going anywhere. It's not like they're delisting the Star Ocean games for any reason. I mean, and if they do, you could obviously buy it before they delist it, if you hear about the delistings. The next and last game of the my 10 Switch games is Grandia HD Remastered. I think these have the HD remakes. Remakes or remastered? It just says Grandia HD Collection. So it's a remake or a remaster. Guys, do you know the difference between a remake or a remaster? I don't. I sound like a dummy talking about video games. I have no idea what the hell is the difference between a remake and a remaster. They all look the same to me, because sometimes they'll call something a remake and I'm like, oh, they're remaking it so it's gonna look better, and it's the same game, just the same game. All right, but that's enough of that. This is another JRPG in the classic, I think, NES era. Never got to play of it. I did hear great things about it, so I am looking forward to playing it, but I never got a chance to play it, and so sadness that I never got a chance, but I am looking forward to playing it. But so those are the 10 games that I think, like, you should give a chance. Every one of these games are highly rated, highly regarded, minus the Pokemon game. The original one is, but minus the Pokemon game, are the games I feel like you should give a chance and you should play. If you have stuck around this long, don't forget to give it a good old like. Hit tap on that like button, and let me know, have you played any of these remakes, remasters, reimaginings, whatever they want to call them these days, on the Nintendo Switch, and what did you feel about them? I do have 10 more games. I just wanted to start with these ones. I try to start with the older games, and I have some that are kind of like 64 and up, but I just wanted to get into these ones. I feel like the only one that I did that was kind of newer was the Tales of Symphonia, but I played that one, so I can talk about it. The other ones I probably won't be able to give you as much detailed information about, but let me know in the comments what you think. And hit that good old subscribe if you haven't been subscribed to this channel for more content, and happy gaming, guys. Bye.